Hello students, welcome to the online class of 5th session, and today we shall discuss about the 4th class of drug, that is antimicrobials. We see large number of microorganisms in our surroundings like bacteria, fungi, virus, pathogens, and these are all the reasons for the cause of diseases in human beings, animals as well as in plants. And these microorganisms are collectively known as microbes. And the drugs which are designed in order to kill or inhibit the growth of these microorganisms, those drugs are known as antimicrobials. These antimicrobials are again classified into two categories. The first one is antibiotics. First one is antibiotics, and the second one is antiseptics and disinfectants. Antiseptics and disinfectants. Whichever the drug might be, either it is antibiotics or it is antiseptics or disinfectants, the ultimate action of these drugs is to kill the bacteria or to inhibit the growth of the bacteria which causes infection. Let us now discuss one by one. Now I will discuss about antibiotics. What are these antibiotics? Antibiotics are a class of drugs which are used in the treatment of antibiotics. Antibiotics are the class of drugs which are used in the treatment of infections. If any microorganisms like bacteria, fungus or virus present in our body, it is present in the form of burns, wounds, boils or pain. And those microorganisms which causes wounds or pains or burns are collectively known as infection. And the drug which is used in order to kill these microorganisms and inhibit the growth of microorganism in order to decrease the cause of infections, and those drugs are known as antibiotics. How the quality of antibiotic should be? The quality of antibiotic should be, it should be less toxic to the host, that is for human beings and animals or plants, but it should be more toxic to the invaders, that is for bacteria, virus or fungi. Antibiotics in a quality ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು? Human beings, animals or plants ಗೆ less toxic ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ invaders like bacteria, virus or fungi ಗೆ more toxic ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಡ್ರಗ್ ನ ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Earlier days, these antibiotics were defined as the drugs designed by a chemical substance present in the microorganisms. And these chemical systems are the reason for the inhibiting the growth of those microorganisms. This was the earlier definition of antibiotic. This antibiotic definition was modernized in nowadays because a large variety of antibiotics are prepared synthetically, that is in laboratory or in industries. So the modern definition of antibiotics is the class of drugs which are prepared partially or fully in chemical synthesis in order to inhibit or kill the growth of microorganisms by intervening or interfering in the metabolic activities. I'll repeat once again. The modernized definition of antibiotics is antibiotics are the class of drugs which are prepared partially or fully in chemical synthesis in laboratories or in industries in order to inhibit or kill the growth of the microorganisms by interfering in their metabolic process. ಮೈಕ್ರೋಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ ಮೆಟಬಾಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಆ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾಸ್ನ ಕಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಗ್ರೋತ್ನ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ತರಹದ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ನ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಲ್ಯಾಬೊರೇಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಥಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಅಂತಹ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು? ಆಂಟಿಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು. So, before knowing about the different varieties of antibiotics in our market, let me know few things about the history of antibiotics. Paul Ehrlich, a German bacteriologist, Paul Ehrlich. Paul Ehrlich, CSH. He discovered the first antibacterial drug known as Salvarsan. What is the name of first antibacterial drug? Salvarsan. This Salvarsan is the drug used to treat the disease known as syphilis. A German bacteriologist, Paul Ehrlich, got a Nobel Prize for the discovery of an antibacterial drug, that is Salvarsan, which is used to treat the disease known as syphilis. Let me know about it in detail. How he discovered? First, he observed azodise properties. Azodise, that is N double bond N. The azodise having N double bond N group in their structure have the properties like it bind to the particular tissues and make those tissues colored. By observing this property, he started thinking to discover a drug which resembles this property. By search, he got a new element, that is arsenic. As double bond As, which is similar in structure of azodise. What does this arsenic will do? This As double bond As group of the Salvarsan drug will inhibit the growth of the bacteria which is responsible for the cause of syphilis disease. Let me know which bacteria is the reason for the disease syphilis. Spirochetes. Spirochetes. This is the bacteria. This is the bacteria responsible for the causing of disease syphilis. And this syphilis drug is treated by using an antibacterial drug, that is Salvarsan. What is the mechanism of this As double bond As group in treatment? Let me know. This As double bond As also designed in such a way that it should bind to a particular bacteria which causes syphilis disease. In azodise, N double bond N is a group which particularly bind to the tissues and those tissues are colored, and that drug dyes are known as azodise. In the same way, this Paul Ehrlich also designed a drug having As double bond As, which have a similar property of azodise like it will bind to a particular bacteria which will inhibit or kill the growth of that bacteria, causing diseases. And that disease caused by spirochetes bacteria is known as syphilis. And the drug he designed is known as salvarsan. This is about the first antibacterial drug, salvarsan. But in coming days, this salvarsan drug became a toxic to the human beings. But it became less toxic to the bacteria or invaders. This was opposite to the quality of the drug. As I discussed earlier, how the quality of the drug should be. The drug should be designed in such a way that it should be less toxic to the human beings but more toxic to the bacteria. But here what happened? This salvarsan became more toxic to the human beings and less toxic to the invaders, so that it became a drawback of salvarsan drug. Then he started experimenting a new drug which should have the same properties of salvarsan. Which property? It should bind to that bacteria and should kill that bacteria. Then he got a new drug known. What is the new drug? Prontosil. This Prontosil is a new drug. He also awarded for the discovery of this new drug Prontosil. This Prontosil also discovered by Paul Ehrlich. What is the mechanism of Prontosil? When we intake this drug, it will be converted into a compound known as sulfonylamines. What it is converted as? Sulfonylamines. And this sulfonylamines having a sulfur group. Which group? Sulfur group. And this led to a discovery of sulfonamides. This led to the discovery of sulfonamides. This is what we see in most of the drugs. Most of the drugs having this content, that is sulfonamide content. As I discussed in my first class, that is in first session, that is under chemical structure, we talked about sulfonamides. The sulfonamides having an alkyl group, and any drug comes and binds to the sulfonamides, and if that drug fits to the alkyl group, then the mechanism starts. The same way for this sulfonamides, if the other drug comes and fits to the alkyl group, then that drug was known as sulfapyridine. Sulfapyridine. Here, pyridine group came and attached to the alkyl group of the sulfonamides, hence it was known as sulfapyridine. These were the drugs led to the discovery, after the discovery of a new drug known as Prontosil. Let me explain you once again. When the salvarsan drug got a drawback, then he started discovering a new drug having a similar structure of salvarsan. Then he discovered a new drug known as Prontosil. When we intake this Prontosil, this converted into a compound known as sulfonylamines. As it is having a sulfur groups, this led to the discovery of a drug known as sulfonamides. Sulfonamides are the most common content present in the drugs. And for the alkyl group, pyridine was attached. Then this sulfonamides was also took a new shape and a new drug called as sulfapyridine. This is all about Paul Ehrlich discoveries. What did Paul Ehrlich discovered? He discovered a new drug known as Salvarsan. This was the first antibacterial drug and he got Nobel Prize for this discovery. What does this Salvarsan drug will do? This will treat the disease syphilis. How this syphilis is treated? It was treated by using a group that is AS double bond AS. What is the property of AS double bond AS group? AS double bond AS group will bind to a particular bacteria which is causing a disease syphilis, and that bacteria is known as spirochetes. When this drug binds to the spirochetes, then the bacteria growth will be inhibited or it is destroyed, and hence the syphilis disease was cured. But in later the Salvarsan drug got a drawback. That is, this Salvarsan drug became toxic to human beings and less toxic to the invaders. So he started discovering a new drug having a resemblance of Salvarsan, and that new drug was named as Prontosil. When this Prontosil was taken, this was converted into a compound known as sulfanyl-amides. As this sulfanyl-amides having a sulfur group, that led to the discovery of a drug known as sulfonamides. These sulfonamides having the alkyl group, and the pyridine came and attached to that alkyl group that was fixed. As it fixed, it led to the mechanism. So another drug was also discovered, that is sulfapyridine. After the discovery of the drugs Salvarsan and Prontosil, the revolution, a great revolution started in the antibiotic drugs, and that revolution was by discovery of penicillin, which was discovered by Alexander Penicillin. That is, after the discovery of Salvarsan and Prontosil, the other antibiotics were discovered. That is how a big revolution started in antibiotic drugs, and the drug was penicillin, which was discovered by Alexander Fleming. When Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, then the revolution in the antibiotic drug started. What did Alexander Penicillin discover? Alexander Penicillin. Alexander Fleming. He discovered an antibiotic known as penicillin. This was synthesized by a bacteria, Penicillium. Penicillium fungus. It's a fungus, not a bacteria. Alexander Fleming discovered a new antibiotic known as penicillin. This was synthesized by penicillin fungus. Then the revolution in the antibiotic drugs started. Thus, antibiotics are further classified into two categories. Based on the nature of action of the drugs, antibiotics are classified into two types based on nature. Antibiotics are classified into two types. Those two types antibiotics are bactericidal and bacteriostatic. Bactericidal. Bactericidal and bacteriostatic. Why they're classified into bactericidal and bacteriostatic? Because some drugs kill the bacteria and some other drugs inhibit the growth of the bacteria. So the drugs or the antibiotics which kill the bacteria comes under bactericidal. The antibiotics which kill the bacteria comes under bactericidal. Let us know the examples for bactericidal. First one is penicillin. Penicillin. And the second one is aminoglycosides. And the third one is ofloxacin. Ofloxacin. The first one is penicillin, second one is aminoglycosides, and the third one is ofloxacin. These are the antibiotics which kill the bacteria, and those were named together as bactericidal. Bactericidal. Now we shall know about bacteriostatic antibiotic. Bacteriostatic antibiotics means those are the antibiotics which inhibit the growth of the bacteria. These inhibit the growth. Instead of killing that bacteria, it just inhibit the growth, that is slow down the growth. And the examples for bacteriostatic antibiotics are, first one, erythromycin. What is the name? Erythromycin. The second one is tetracycline. What is the other name? Tetracycline. And the third one is chloramphenicol. Chloramphenicol. These are the antibiotics, that is erythromycin, tetracycline and chloramphenicol. These are the antibiotics which just inhibit the growth of the bacteria. And these drugs or antibiotics comes under bacteriostatic category. This is about the antibiotics classification based on the nature of action. Based on nature of action. Based on nature of action of antibiotics, these are classified into two types. One is bactericidal and bacteriostatic. Bactericidal are the antibiotics which kill the bacteria, but bacteriostatic are the antibiotics which inhibit the growth of the bacteria. The examples for bactericidal are penicillin, aminoglycosides and ofloxacin. The examples for bacteriostatic are erythromycin, tetracycline and chloramphenicol. Let me know about special features of chloramphenicol. This chloramphenicol which inhibit the growth of the bacteria, and it also having some special features, that is when this chloramphenicol drug is taken, then it is absorbed by gastrointestinal tract. Chloramphenicol. When this chloramphenicol is taken orally, then it is absorbed by gastrointestinal tract. After absorbing, it solves many problems, like it solves typhoid, typhoid. It's all dysentery. It cures the problem of acute fever. Acute fever. It solves the problems like pneumonia and so on. Chloramphenicol is taken orally and it is absorbed by gastrointestinal tract. Then after absorbed, it can cure many problems like typhoid, dysentery, acute fever, pneumonia, urinary infections, urinary infections and so on. This is about the special characteristic of chloramphenicol antibiotic. Now, let me discuss based on the spectrum range. These antibiotics are classified again into three categories. Based on spectrum range. These antibiotics are classified into three categories. The first one is wide spectrum. First one is wide spectrum, second is narrow spectrum, and the third is limited spectrum. First one is wide spectrum. And the second one is narrow spectrum. And the third one is limited spectrum. Let me know about these ranges one by one. First one is wide spectrum. The antibiotics comes under wide spectrum will affect a large number of microbes. That is, it affects both on gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Gram positive and gram negative bacteria. The antibiotics comes under wide spectrum affect the microbes in large extent. That is, it affects on both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. The examples for wide spectrum antibiotics are the first one, chloramphenicol. The second one is ampicillin. And the third one is amoxicillin. Amoxicillin. These are the antibiotics which affect on both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. The second is narrow spectrum. In this case, the antibiotic which either affect on gram positive or on gram negative. It affect on any one bacteria. That is either on gram positive bacteria or on gram negative bacteria. The third one is limited spectrum. The name itself says limited, means it is limited only for one microbe. It affects only on 1 micro. And the example for limited spectrum antibiotic is penicillin G. Penicillin G. This is all about the antibiotics which are classified into 3 categories based on the spectrum range. Based on the spectrum range, antibiotics are classified into 3 categories. First one is wide spectrum. The antibiotics comes under wide spectrum range affect on large number of bacteria. That is, it affect both on gram positive and gram negative bacteria. Example for wide spectrum range bacteria are antibiotics are chloramphenicol, ampicillin and amoxicillin. Second one is narrow spectrum. The antibiotics here affect either on gram positive bacteria or on gram negative bacteria. The third one is limited spectrum. Here the antibiotic affect on only 1 microbe, and the example for limited spectrum is penicillin G. This is all about antibiotics. Now we shall discuss about antiseptics and disinfectants. Antiseptics and disinfectants. Though I will discuss simultaneously about both antiseptic and disinfectant. Antiseptic and disinfectant. The function of both antiseptic and disinfectant is same. That is, it kill or inhibit the growth of the germs. Function is same. What is the function of antiseptic and disinfectants? Kill or inhibit the growth of germs or microorganisms. But in case of antiseptic, these antibiotics or drugs which are used on living organisms. These antiseptics are used for living organisms. But disinfectants are used for non-living organisms. Non-living organisms. Okay. This antiseptic is used in low concentration. Antiseptics are used in low concentration. While disinfectants are used in high concentration. High concentration. Antiseptic are used in less quantity, while disinfectants are used in more quantity. And the example for antiseptics are, the most common example is fluorescein. Fluorescein. This is the most common example. And the other one is saffromycin. Saffromycin, which is the other most common antiseptic which is used in all home, that is Dettol. Dettol. This Dettol is a mixture of two compounds. One is chloroxylenol. Chloroxylenol and terpineol. These are the two mixtures present in Dettol. The example, most common example for antiseptic are fluoracin, saffromycin and Dettol. One more antiseptic, that is bithianol. This antiseptic is used in the soaps which act as an antiseptic. Bithianol is used in soaps which acts as an antiseptic. Used in soaps. Soaps ಅಲ್ಲಿ bithianol use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. And the other antiseptic like iodine. Iodine is the most powerful antiseptic. I2. Iodine is the most powerful antiseptic, and 2 to 3% of iodine is mixed in the alcohol mixture, and that together called as tincture. 2 to 3% in alcohol mixture acts as a tincture. Tincture. Iodoform is also used as an antiseptic, and mild antiseptic for eyes. Which is the mild antiseptic for eyes? Eyes, EYES. And the mild antiseptic for eyes, that is dilute boric acid. Diluted boric acid used as a mild antiseptic for eyes. This is all about examples of antiseptic. These antiseptics are applied externally, but the antibiotics are taken orally. What is the difference between antibiotic and antiseptic? Antibiotics are taken orally while the antiseptics are applied externally. Which are the most common antiseptics we use? First is fluoracin, saffromycin and Dettol. The next one is bithianol. This bithianol is used in the soaps which act as an antiseptic. Iodine is also used as an antiseptic. How? 2 to 3% of iodine is mixed in alcohol, and that mixture is known as tincture, which can be applied for wounds in order to cure the infection. And the mild antiseptic for eyes is dilute boric acid. This is about the examples of antiseptic. Coming to disinfectants. These are used for non-living organisms like for table, chair or to clean the floor. We use phenol, we use phenyl, and that is nothing but the disinfectants. These disinfectants having the examples which are also used for antiseptic, but the concentration should be different. If 1% phenol is used, then it is called as disinfectant. But if 0%, 0.2%, if 0.2% phenol is used, then that acts as an antiseptic. Even the soaps or face wash, some contain phenol, but that is used in low concentration. 0.2% phenol is used in antiseptics, while 1% phenol is used in disinfectants. 2 0.2 to 0.4% of chlorine is used as a disinfectant. 0.2 to 0.4% of chlorine is used as a disinfectant, and also very less amount of sulfur dioxide is also used as a disinfectant. Sulfur dioxide is also used as a disinfectant. This is all about antiseptic and disinfectant. Both act same function, that is inhibit or kill the bacteria. Both kill the bacteria, but differs, which are used as antiseptic, which are used as disinfectant. Low concentration is used as an antiseptic, while the high concentration is used as a disinfectant. And antiseptics are used on living organisms, while disinfectants are used for non-living organisms like table, chair, man-made things. And the examples for antiseptic is, most common examples are fluorescein, sapromycin and Dettol. Bithionol is used in the soaps, which acts as an antiseptic, while iodine in 2 to 3% is mixed with alcohol, which acts as a tincture, which is applied on wounds. Mild, mild antiseptics like dilute boric acid is used for eyes. And coming to examples for disinfectants is, 1% of phenol is used as a disinfectant, while 0.2% of phenol is used as an antiseptic. 0.2 to 0.4% chlorine is used as an antiseptic. Sorry, 0.2 to 0.4% of chlorine is used as a disinfectant, and very less amount of sulfur dioxide is used as a disinfectant. This is all about today's class, that is antimicrobials, which is divided into antibiotics and antiseptics and disinfectants. And antibiotics are taken orally while antiseptics are applied externally. Both kill or inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Disinfectants are used on non-living organisms. Thank you.